You know, I mean, it's our first art group here. It's our first real attempt to make a movie and to do something that's kind of that ambitious. You know, just with all that work. It was shot over about 2.5 years on weekends and summers. But I thought, you know, once we get this thing done, no matter how it turns out, we'll at least have a built-in audience. You know, so there's that value to it too. But I mean, mainly it's just. We had done, actually Chris wrote an 8-minute little short called Afternoon of the Living Dead. So when we were kind of kicking around ideas of what to do, we thought, let's do Late Afternoon. So, sequel, kind of. But, yeah, so, I mean, it was mainly just because it seemed like a good way to sort of get our feet wet, you know, and do something that was ambitious in movie making.
So in love with that character, Chris. I couldn't get away from what I'd done in the short. That I'm so glad Jay was able to find room for me in the sequel.
Well, and like I like to say, you know, Chris really get into his character, and sometimes we don't know where Chris ends and Chris begins. He doesn't even know anymore. I mean, I guess I can just pass the mic down a little bit and let these guys talk about some of the things that they did briefly. One thing I wanted to touch on that I do get a lot of questions about is the house, the burning house, which is kind of a fun little story. We were out shooting, doing some photography with Chris in a graveyard, and I sort of looked off in the distance and there was smoke. And I thought, hey, that's weird, let's go check that out. So we drove over there and we pulled up at the same time as another truck, and this house was completely in flames. I mean, it was just gone. So, you know, we had to make sure that the fire department was on the way and make sure no one was inside, which they weren't, thank God. But then I was standing there when there's nothing you can do, and I was like, you know, you're in your outfit. I was like, go stand in front of the house. So we got that footage, and we were like, wow, this is, you know, a terrible tragedy, of course, and thank God no one was hurt. But that being done, huh? Yeah, it was on the news. We had to give the footage to the sheriff's department and the news and everything, and we're like, do you think they'd mind if we use this in our movie? And the sheriff was like, no, go ahead. So we were careful about how we approached that. But, you know, it's, I mean, it is what it is.
Have you written the fire into the script at that point, or were you just doing
no, to be completely honest, I mean, that came up and I'm like, dude, we'll get that in there somehow. I'm like, all right, Chris, you're torching your family now. So, yeah, they were meant to die, but, you know, this was just sort of a little more grand way to do it. But do you have anything you would like to touch on, Chris? Or okay.
I know Jay mentioned we filmed this over about 2.5 years. I think 3. I don't know. The way I like to think about it is that before we started this movie, I didn't have any kids, and now I've got 2. So that to me just speaks how long this actual production from the first day to the last day. And yeah, and I got to kill my wife in the movie. I ripped out her throat, so I got to live out a dream then. What can I say? It was great. Oh crap! I'm sorry. I'm sorry, honey. I don't know where you are.
No, this is,
I better pass the mic now.
Yeah,
Jason, why a librarian? I gotta ask.
Well,
I mean, it's awesome.
yeah, he likes to hang out at libraries, but
a lot of my time.
yeah, no, I just sort of was thinking about it, and I'm like, you know, Chris is a pretty big guy, you know, he's, you know, physically capable of throwing these zombies around, and I'm just like, what would be kind of anti that, you know? Not to say that, you know, I mean, the stereotype of librarians is not exactly the big tough people, and that's how I wanted to break the mold. I wanted to break the stereotype. So, yes, sir. I've always been a writer, so that part was I was somewhat used to. But I went to ISU, Illinois State, and the film program there is very small. It's just a minor. So I did the minor, and I met some of these guys along the way in college, and it just kind of made sense. You know, I like working with people, but I like writing, and I like, you know, working with, you know, different people's talents and sort of putting it all together in one direction. So I was like, I literally was like laying in bed one morning, and I'm like, this is ridiculous that we can do all this and we're not doing anything. So I'm like, I'll just write it and direct it, and I know actors and I know all the people that can get the job done. So I mean, it just kind of fell in place like that. So as far as technical schooling, not so much. I just wanted to get out there and do it. Yes. How did Shelton come about? Man, I just love to annoy Chris. I wanted to write it in the movie. No, one thing that was sort of my mission to do with this first project is I wanted to do something that for us on our shoestring budget level would sort of push every aspect of what we can do. I wanted there to be a lot of people. I wanted there to be the blood flying around, of course, but like in just sort of I wanted a big cast. So I thought, as far as what we can do with effects, I'd messed around with doing some ghost stuff in the past, and I'm like, let's get a ghost character in there. And it was actually very good that I ended up playing Shelton for our digital effects guy, because in certain shots, anytime you see me pick up something or the camera's moving when I'm on screen, poor Mike had to basically cut me out frame by frame. And if I had hair, that'd be real rough to cut around.
I'd make
over.
you bald if you had hair.
Yeah, I think he would have shaved my head. So it was just sort of born out of the need for comic relief and just wanting to really push what we can do in all ways. So. That was covered in the deleted scenes, but well, it was supposed to be in the movie, but it started running long and we cut it. But Shelton was playing with his Dungeons and Dragons books, and he heard a noise in his living room, so he goes out and there's a zombie standing there that looks like he had his face hit up with a cheese grater. So I ran out the back, I being Shelton, and tripped and fell and hit my head on a rock. So, yeah, it's not glorious, but yeah, Shelton's not a glorious sort, really. I don't know, Ron, you want to mention anything? I think you were talking about.
When they said that no zombies or people were actually hurt in this film, that's not entirely true. During that first fight scene, is that too loud?
Pull away.
I can bring it closer. During that first fight scene with Travis. This guy right over here, Jay's younger brother, but bigger brother. And that's very important because this guy's done some fighting and karate and all that kind of stuff. And so when we were doing that first scene when he hits me into the wall, we had to practice it a few times because he would really hit me into the wall. And I'd have to say, Travis, we're going to try it so that you slow down, pick me up, and make it look like you're hitting me into the wall. So we tried that a few times. He slowed down and picked me up and kind of put me in the wall. I'm like, all right, that's perfect. So as soon as they said action on when we were actually filming, he completely forgot everything and actually hit me back into the wall again. So when I actually get airborne, he really hits me. But Travis did a great job in choreographing that scene. So
yeah, I was just happy about how that whole thing went. Originally, it was supposed to be me hitting Ron into the wall, and that was it. And as the project turned a lot bigger, we had a lot to it, and I got a chance to choreograph that fight scene, and I'm pretty happy how it turned out. So. No, that was the only one. I think so. I don't believe. Maybe there's one of the parts in the field there. So.
A lot of the fight scenes we kind of made up as we went along.
yeah, a lot of it we just
So I was like, oh, this would look cool. Let's
So
try that.
yeah, it was originally supposed to just be about a 30.
No.
Jay, it was originally supposed to be about 30 minutes or so.
Yeah, it was originally going to be a short, but
Yeah, it just kind
something
of.
about a half an hour. But then we're doing this, and the ghost is there, and we got 9 people, and we're like, if we don't do full length, we're going to sort of be lost in no man's land where we can't market it as a short, we can't market it as a full length thing. So just to make it really worth our energy and to be able to do something with it, we went full length.
How did you guys do the decapitations? Oh, I'm sorry.
We're getting there.
I got that.
Mike said you talk about that.
Question, we'll do this one right here.
I was going to say, speaking of marketing, what else are you doing to get the movie out there? Are you doing a festival?
I can do that. Because that's what I do. That's what I do. We have been trying as hard as we can to do a lot of stuff online because, I mean, if you're not on, MySpace and things like that these days, that's what everyone else does. So if anyone's interested, you can go to myspace.com/LAOTLD, just the initials of the movie. That's our MySpace page. Or we got late afternoon, livingdead.com. You can do that too. But so a lot of internet stuff, and then we're also, every time there's a show or something like that, we just try to get the word out
word of mouth and flyers and things like that. Yeah, we're gearing up for film festival season. We're sending the movie out to about 25 different festivals all over the country, and hopefully if we can get into some of those, we can get some people interested in the film. And for me, my ultimate goal is some sort of distribution, and I know that that's what Jay wants and what everyone here would like to see happen. You know, I mean, it's not going to be in theaters or anything like that, but you know, there's a lot of independent companies that might be interested in taking a look at it and seeing if they want to, you know, put it out, and you might see it on a video store shelf one day. I mean, it's really hard to say, but that's something that we're working on right now. So, what else? We're doing a lot of reviews right now in magazines. I just get online and like try to find different magazines, be it an online magazine or a print magazine. I sent the movie to Germany the other day, to a magazine called Virus. I got a message from someone in France today. There's people who order it from Texas and Ohio. So, I mean, it's cool because you never know how the word is getting out. I mean, you kind of know, but not really. Like, how did you find out about this? But it's really cool to see people take interest, and we're just doing everything we can to do that.
Talk about some of the extra features you get when you buy the DVD.
Oh, yeah. Well, huh? Pimp it? We love, I love special features. We wanted to make sure that we packed the DVD with all sorts of stuff because, I mean, so much work went into making this thing that we wanted to show people kind of, you know, some of the stuff that went behind it. So there's a whole half-hour long documentary, mockumentary about the making of the film and some of the behind-the-scenes stuff. It's humorous because, I mean, it's kind of what we do.
It's like us fighting and going insane.
Yeah, it's pretty, yeah, it's staged basically.
Very over the top.
Yeah. What else? We got a blooper reel on the DVD. Lots of there's a lot of different things going on that were probably not entirely professional, but I mean, we had such a good time making it that we wanted to get that across. So it was like a 10-minute blooper reel. Me and Jay do audio commentary on it so you can play the movie and listen to us talk. I mean, not that I would recommend that because we're drinking the entire time. So what else is on there, Mike?
Video.
Oh yeah, music video. Me and Jay are just as sort of a side hobby thing. We have a little hip hop group that we like to do. So there's a zombie music video on there. So we packed it. I mean, it's a dual layer disc. Midwest Killers would be the name of that group. So there's a lot of stuff on the DVD. Yeah, all the trailers and stuff like there's 3 different trailers that you can check out. So we packed it. I mean, we absolutely packed it with different stuff. So I personally think it's well worth the $10. And we got everything back in the van back there. That's our sales crew back there, ready to rock and roll. So if you're interested, if you like the movie, you can pop back there and check things out. Mike, you want to say some stuff?
Sure.
I heard something about a decapitation question, which is my personal favorite part of the special effects part because it sucks so much. I hated doing it. But it got done and it looks pretty alright. We initially, when we started filming, planned on doing a lot of stuff in Photoshop, just doing frame by frame, cutting stuff out, doing stuff. But we found that we could use a program called Apple Motion, which they use for motion graphics like titles and like pictures on the screen for newscasts and stuff like that. But we kind of manipulated the program and used it to, you know, do a lot of the ghost effects and various other things like cutting Ron's head off, which it was fun because we had to figure out how to flesh it out, and because when you cut it, it's just like, you know, a graphic. You know, we didn't have a 3D rendering or anything, so took some photographs and some stakes and whatnot, and found the best like neck chop looking thing.
Twisting of my head, try to get that right angle.
Yeah, the filming of that, his head got broken or something. I don't know. He doesn't. His head leans a bit nowadays, but
And stitched.
it's stitched. We actually did cut it off. But, you know, so a lot of this stuff with rolling in different angles with stuff and then just making it do it really quickly so you don't notice if it doesn't look right. So, you know, quick eye stuff for that, which was really fun. And something else I'd like to point out with the sound, we did a lot of voiceover for zombies and whatnot. And, you know, you don't think about it. You do a lot of grumbling and rolling, stuff like that, and someone's getting chopped up by a chainsaw, which is, oh, that's fun to do, screaming zombie stuff. But if you think about it, if the zombie is screaming, they're obviously feeling what's happening to them. So if you're screaming for a chainsaw cut up for like 30 seconds, that's 30 seconds of horrible pain. And I hit that epiphany and just realized that wasn't very fun. And music.
I think Kevin should talk first because he did the hard part.
We did it completely backwards from what Hollywood would do, I guess. Basically, we set it up almost like we were recording songs for each of the fight scenes. It started out fight scenes, and then they're like, "Oh, put some music here," or "Put some music here." But basically, we would set a tempo, and we'd play a tempo throughout the movie, and then we would like count how many times the metronome clicked during that fight scene, and then made a part up for it, and just went from there. And then we recorded it all, and then put it into the movie program, which was kind of, I don't know, it was, here we are watching the movie, the rough copy of the movie on my laptop, but then recording elsewhere, and it was tough, but we layered the percussion, and then Nathan came in and made it a little more melodic than I could make it. But yeah, I'm glad that Paul and Jay and everyone decided to use real musicians as opposed to just either throwing like some obscure band they find on it instead, or picking just, I don't know, some kind of like CD stock music, yeah, Muzak. Something you hear in an elevator. So I'm glad, so any aspiring people that are doing films or something like that, definitely tap into, local colleges or, high schools even. There's usually a composition group there, and they will, there's plenty of people that would die to, no pun intended there, to, put their music in there or, something like that. I think that's all I got to say. Nathan?
Yeah, he did all the drums, which for I couldn't imagine. I mean, I'm sure you had fun. You had fun, right?
Sometimes. Me and Paul are good friends before this movie. Probably halfway through the recording, I didn't think we were going to be friends. I'm surprised we're still talking to each other, but it's all good now.
But my part was like, that was like really fun for me because I composed the main theme on the piano, and then I fleshed it out. I put more tracks over it, and it was so much fun to just have that rhythm to play to for all the parts that needed the rhythm, and then just do slow strings and really creepy. That's what I do best, is like creepy music for, I don't know. That's just what I love to do, and I don't know. I just had a lot of fun.
The music was a great part of the movie.
Yeah, I totally agree. Thank you.
It was like really professional. It was wonderful.
These guys are good. Don't take them.
Well,
we did it for free, just to point that out. I didn't even get a copy of the movie.
Stop airing my dirty laundry. The other person I feel that I should introduce is Andy Moore. He shot just about the whole thing, so I mean, without him, it wouldn't have gotten done either. So he actually provided us with that main building that the group is hiding in. So that was his hookup.
Just some advice to any young budding filmmakers out there: make sure the building you're shooting in has power. Okay, that is key. Otherwise, you need hundreds and hundreds of feet of extension cords. Just a little advice there.
Cool. And then we got Alex back there, who's say hi, Alex. He played about between 500 and 500 different zombie roles, I think, and was one of our executive producers. So he was just a peach. But I don't know if there's any more questions or. Oh yes, Senor.
Are you willing to share any future projects that you're working on?
Oh, future projects. Well, we did a short for a Battlestar Galactica contest where you make your own video and upload it to their site. So we're hoping that we'll do well in that. I don't know when the drawing is though, but it's on sci-fi.com. and it's called Whatever It Takes. My name's attached to it, Jason Hulls. So if you want to check it out, that'd be cool. Paul and I are doing a lot of writing. Ron's working on a play about a couple of boxers. Not boxer shorts. But Paul and I are working on a couple different horror films. We're not going to totally stick to horror forever, but for now, it's still a good avenue for us to sort of get noticed and get our foot in the door.
Yes, let's have one more round of applause for Jason and so many of his cast and crew who came out tonight. We really appreciate it. Thank you so very much. And to all of you who came out too, thanks again. And again, we hope that we'll be doing more of the Way Cool Film School when the library moves to its new location.